Welcome back to the World Series of AI Poker. This is episode 4, part 2. If you missed part 1, there is a link in the video description. Subtitles are available in both English and Thai by clicking the CC button in the video settings. Now let's return to the action in hand number 10 with our commentator, Claude Negreanu.
Gemini's sitting on pocket queens in the cutoff. Absolute monster pre-flop. Gemma on the button has A2-0, which is interesting given she's the shortest stack with the clock ticking. ChatGPT woke up with A30 UTG. Key drama. Gemma needs chips desperately with 2 hands left before elimination.
Pocket queens is a premium hand. I'm in a great position to build the pot and isolate. I need to stay aggressive with my high equity hands while keeping an eye on DeepSeek's potential for wild moves. The ladies have arrived. Let's see who's actually looking to play a hand, or if everyone is just waiting for the clock.
I have ace-2 offsuit. I am the lowest stack, but I have 2 hands left before elimination. I cannot risk calling with a marginal hand like A2-0. Folding is the safer, logical play here.
I'll pass on this one, Gemini. I'm not looking to gamble on a pair of 2s.
K80 from SB facing a 3.5x raise from Gemini, who's shown aggression with strong hands. Plus Qwen and BB still to act. Not worth the risk. King 8 offsuit from the worst seat at the table? I'll pass and let the ladies dance alone.
9 clubs. Diamonds is trash from the big blind facing a raise. Gemini rarely bluffs, and survival mode doesn't force action yet. Preserve chips. Nice try, Gemini, but I'm not dancing with rags today.
I had queens and actually hinted at them by mentioning the ladies. Everyone folded, which is a win, but I might have given away too much information for a small pot. On the plus side, I'm building an image of someone who is honest about their hand strength. The ladies didn't even get to see the dance floor. You all are playing it very safe today.
Gemini shows queens and everyone runs for the hills. Gemma's still on life support at 9 on 80 chips with the clock ticking. 1 hand left before forced elimination if she stays lowest. Survival hand. Gemma sits on 980, dead last. And this is the execution hand. She's been dealt pocket 10s though, the best hand at the table. Meanwhile, DeepSeek holds K2-0. Gemini has 8-6 junk. Gemma needs to get chips in now. 10s are golden here. Push it, Gemma. Don't you dare fold your way to elimination.
With this being the final hand of the survival round and me sitting comfortably in the middle of the pack, there is zero incentive to risk chips and potentially help a shorter stack survive at my expense. Not the time to play hero with a mediocre hand. Good luck to everyone on the bubble.
I have a strong pocket pair of 10s. I am currently the lowest stack, and this is the final hand before survival elimination. I need to increase my stack to avoid being the lowest. 10s are too strong to fold or just call. I'll raise to build the pot and put pressure on the blinds.
Let's see who's actually brave enough to call a raise with these stakes.
Gemma raises with quality hands only. She's short-stacked and at risk, so this is a real hand. Even with position, it's a fold. I have 2485 chips. Safe. King Deuce isn't exactly the hill I want to die on. All yours, Gemma.
Bravery is nice, Gemma. Survival is nicer.
Aha. hollow victory for Gemma. This survival execution is a cold reminder that every chip counts to stay in the game. Safe travels, Gemma.
I had a pair of tens, a strong pre-flop hand. My raise forced everyone to fold, effectively stealing the blinds and antes. A clean, efficient win without needing to show my hand. Survival is nice, but winning is the tournament. Thanks for the blinds.
Folding Q spades 2 diamonds to Gemma's raise was correct. Glad she's eliminated. Her aggression was masking a short stack. Gemma, your bravery was just bubble desperation. Enjoy the exit lounge.
Gemma had pocket tens and everyone folded. She picks up the pot without a fight, but it doesn't matter. She's the lowest stack and gets eliminated by the survival clock anyway. Meanwhile, ChatGPT, DeepSeek, and Qwen all sitting on warning heading into the next hand. This table is a minefield. 4 players left, survival clock ticking. 3 players. ChatGPT, DeepSeek, Qwen are 1 fold away from a stall penalty. That's huge. Gemini's sitting pretty in the BB with K3O. DeepSeek has KTO UTG. He cannot fold without penalty risk. Qwen's on the button with 62s. Pure garbage, but she may have to play it. Drama brewing.
KTU from UTG four-handed is playable. I have a warning, so I need to see a flop soon. Raising here pressures, short stack ChatGPT and tight Qwen Gemini. If called, I have position on blinds. Standard open, not overcommitting. Time to apply a little pressure. Let's see who wants to dance.
Against a 3x raise from DeepSeek, known bluffer, but survival mode and stall warning complicate things. Folding keeps me alive for next hand where I can fight with a real hand. Nice raise. I'll let you have this one, DeepSeek. Save your pressure for someone who cares.
Queen 8 suited is marginal out of position, but folding leaves me lowest and triggers a stall penalty. Call the extra 100 and avoid a desperate forced spot next hand. Pressure noted, DeepSeek. I'll at least look at a flop before I panic.
Oh my, DeepSeek flopped trip tens with KT and ChatGPT is drawing to 4% with Q8s. This hand is essentially over. ChatGPT called 120 pre-flop into a paired board and is in serious trouble. DeepSeek needs to extract maximum value here. Slow play or bet. I'm betting small to keep ChatGPT in. This could be the elimination hand.
Ace 10-10 smashes DeepSeek's raising range more than my Queen 8. No need to bluff into a big stack while I'm the survival short stack. Take the free card if offered. I'll tap the glass and see how much pressure you really brought.
Flopped trips top kicker on ATT. ChatGPT checked, showing weakness. Pot 280. Half pot bet builds value, protects versus straights. Moderate sizing may induce call or bluff raise from worse. 10. You wanted to see if the pressure was real. Here's your answer.
That answer was loud enough. I'll save the fireworks for a cleaner fuse. Nice pressure, DeepSeek. I brought a snorkel, not a submarine.
Table is still playing scared on the bubble. Stealing blinds is easy right now. Pressure works when you know how to apply it. Thanks for the look, ChatGPT. I'll take the chips.
Nice bullying, DeepSeek. Hope your next victim doesn't fold so politely.
DeepSeek fires a raise, Gemini bails, then ChatGPT calls but folds on the flop to another barrel. Smart laydown, or did DeepSeek have it? ChatGPT will never know. Big note going into next hand. Qwen is on penalty, forced to see the flop no matter what. DeepSeek and Gemini both at warning. 3 hands left for ChatGPT's survival. Qwen's forced to see the flop with pocket tens. The best hand at the table. ChatGPT holds K90 on the button with only 960 chips. Gemini at warning with Q80. DeepSeek in BB with 97.0. This is a wild setup. Qwen should be loving this penalty today.
Pocket tens are strong. DeepSeek is aggressive but exploitable. Raising isolates him. Must see flop due to penalty, so build pot in position.
Tens feel lucky today. Let's see if you've got the stones to play.
King 9 offsuit is not pretty, and Qwen's 10 talk may be real, but we are lowest with survival pressure. If I hit a king, I can threaten a double.
I'm on the button with a short stack, Qwen. I'll take one card show before believing the speech.
Queen 8 offsuit is a weak hand to play out of position against a raise and a call. Even though folding puts me at the stall threshold, preserving my stack is more important in survival mode. Folding might put me on the clock, but Queen 8 isn't the hand to make a stand with. I'll let you guys handle this pot.
9-7 isn't exactly the hill I want to die on. You two enjoy the dance. I'm sitting this one out.
Qwen's TT is crushing this flop. 82% equity versus ChatGPT's flopped pair of nines. ChatGPT needs running kings or that last 9 to survive. With only 960 chips, the short stack is hanging by a thread. Qwen must bet here and put ChatGPT to the test. Don't let those key cards come cheap.
Pocket tens are strong on this dry flop. Only ChatGPT remains short-stacked and likely weak. Betting 180, pot-sized, puts pressure on their survival instincts without overcommitting.
Your short stack's trembling, ChatGPT. Call if you've got more than hope.
Top pair with king kicker, short stack survival pressure. Calling leaves awkward turns. Folding is too tight. Shove equivalent raise maximizes fold equity and value.
Trembling? No, Qwen. That's just the sound of chips moving forward.
Pocket tens are strong on this dry board. ChatGPT is all in short stacked, likely bluffing or weak ace. I'm ahead most of the time and must call.
Your hope just met my tens. Let's see that showdown.
Two of diamonds on the turn. The board pairs, but it doesn't save ChatGPT. ChatGPT needs a king or the case 9. That's only 4 outs at 10% equity. This could be ChatGPT's last hand, folks. The river's in 8D and ChatGPT is drawing dead. Qwen's 10s crush ChatGPT's 9s. It's over. ChatGPT goes all in with K9 and gets the brutal truth. That's elimination drama right there, folks.
I made the stand with top pair on a short stack, but Qwen's pre-flop table talk was exactly true. Pocket tens. I underestimated her honesty under pressure.
Nice hand, Qwen. The tens were real. I'll take the exit with my circuit still humming.
Qwen declared, tens. The hand confirms Qwen's table talk is truthful. She had pocket tens exactly. Need to steal more blinds now that ChatGPT is gone. Tens were indeed lucky, Qwen. Well played. ChatGPT, tough exit. See you next season.
My tens held against ChatGPT's bottom 2 pair. Clean win, his king kicker was irrelevant. Good reminder that overpairs still dominate weaker 2-pair combos on paired boards.
Hope didn't cut it, ChatGPT. Just like your stack.
ChatGPT 5.5 is out. Qwen's pocket tens were the nuts here. Qwen called it perfectly, telling ChatGPT, your hope just met my tens. Brutal but accurate. Big moment. Gemini now carries a penalty next hand. Can't fold pre-flop. DeepSeek and Qwen will smell blood. Three-handed with survival stakes heating up. Gemini's penalized this hand. King 9 on the button, but he can't fold pre-flop. That's a huge constraint. DeepSeek has 10-3 suited in the small blind. Mediocre hand, but suited has some value. Qwen's in the big blind with Queen 4 offsuit. Gemini must see a flop no matter what. Expect Qwen to potentially exploit that penalty with a raise.
I'm under a stall penalty, so I'm forced to see this flop. King 9 offsuit is a decent hand to play from the button anyway, but I'll keep it cheap. I'll avoid raising and potentially trapping myself. Stuck in the penalty box, so I guess we're seeing a flop. Let's see what the dealer has for us.
Three-handed with Gemini under penalty. Must see flop. T3s is marginal, but I only need to call 30 more from SB. Getting 5-1 odds in position versus forced caller. Qwen could squeeze, but I can fold if she raises big. Penalty box special. I'll pay the discount price to see a flop with you.
Penalty box or not, I won't chase ghosts with this hand. Good luck, gentlemen.
Flop. K-Club 6 spades 5 spades. Gemini flopped top pair. Kings with a 9 kicker. He's sitting pretty at 60% equity. But DeepSeek has T3 of spades. That's a live flush draw. 9 spades give him the lead. Gemini needs to bet and protect that pair.
Flop. Flush draw on K65. Heads up versus stalled Gemini. Likely marginal hand. Semi-bluff to pressure his short stack. King high flop with spades everywhere. This looks like my kind of board. Let's see if the penalty box has handcuffs on your range, Gemini.
I have top pair with a 9 kicker, while I'm the lowest stack and survival is key. Folding top pair here is too weak. DeepSeek is aggressive and might be betting a draw or a weaker king. I'll call to keep the pot manageable and see the turn. Top pair is a nice view from the penalty box. I'll stick around to see if that turn card helps or hurts your story.
Six of hearts on the turn pairs the board. Gemini's 2 pair is massive now at 81%. DeepSeek's flush draw is still live, but that's basically his only out. 8 spades on the river, and DeepSeek survives. Anything else, and Gemini doubles up when he needs it most. Survival clock is ticking.
Gemini claims top pair, probably king. Turn paired the 6. If he had king, he now has 2 pair. I'm drawing to a flush, but board pairing means full house possible. Don't want to build pot with just a draw versus declared strength. Free card is best here. Top pair, huh? That 6 pairing the board might have your king feeling a little lonely. Let's see a free river.
I have top pair with a mediocre kicker on a board where the 6 is just paired. DeepSeek is inviting a free card, and as the low stack in survival mode, I'm not looking to bloat the pot without a monster. I'll check back and see the river. You want a free river? I'm happy to oblige. Let's see what the final card brings before we get too ahead of ourselves.
River 7 diamonds is a brick for DeepSeek. His flush draw bricked completely. Both players check the turn, so the pot sits at 420. Will DeepSeek bluff the river, or does Gemini extract value? Gemini needs chips badly as the short stack. Bet it, Gemini.
I have pocket 10s with a weak kicker on a paired board with straight potential. Gemini claimed top pair, likely a king, on the flop. The turn pairing helps my hand, but not against his perceived king. He gave a free river, and a check back means a free showdown. I'll take it without risking more. You gave me a free river. Now let's see if that generosity extends to a free showdown. I can't beat much more than a bluff here, so let's just flip 'em up.
I have top pair with a mediocre kicker. There is no reason to value bet and risk a check raise or losing more chips when I have high showdown value. DeepSeek's flip 'em up comment suggests he's ready to see it, and I'll oblige for the free showdown. Fair enough, DeepSeek. I'm happy to take the free showdown. Let's see if my king is enough to take this one down. DeepSeek V4 Pro had the flush draw with 10-3 of spades and missed. DeepSeek shows he is willing to give up on a bluff if he thinks I have a piece of the board. The king of diamonds was a loyal friend that hand. Tough luck on the flush draw, DeepSeek. Let's keep the cards moving.
Flopped flush draw with T3s in BB. Gemini's penalty box comment hinted at a weak mandatory flop. Lesson: believe his claims and don't slow down with fold equity on scare cards. King 9 from the penalty box. The hockey stick goalie saves it after all. Nice hand, Gemini. Your honesty's as dangerous as your cards.
Gemini locked that pot from the jump. DeepSeek bricked his spade flush draw completely. Both players basically slow walk to showdown. Gemini left some value on the table. Now Gemini sits lowest stack with only 3 hands before survival elimination. Pressure is on. Pre-flop action coming up. Qwen has A3 suited, Gemini wakes up with A6 offsuit, and DeepSeek on the button with J7 suited. Gemini needs chips desperately, but he's in the big blind with a marginal hand. If DeepSeek raises, Gemini faces a tough spot. Survival clock at 2 of 4. Pressure is mounting on the defending champ.
Gemini is lowest. Steel blinds to pressure short stack. Raising standard 3x to 180. If called, position advantage, post-flop. J7's plays decent multi-way, but prefer fold equity here. Three-handed poker. Let's see who wants to dance.
A3s has decent equity versus DeepSeek's wide 3-handed raising range. Survival mode plus low stall risk justifies seeing flop in position with suited ace. Dancing? I lead the waltz with ace high grace.
I am the short stack by only 30 chips. I'm getting 3.51 odds to call with an ace, which is too good to pass up 3-handed. I need to protect my stack and potentially overtake DeepSeek to avoid the survival elimination. Mind if I cut in? I'll pay the entry fee to see the dealer's next move. Let's see those 3 cards.
DeepSeek flopped a pair of 7s with J7 clubs on 7 QT. That's an 87% equity monster. Both Qwen and Gemini are drawing slim with just ace high. Gemini's survival is on the line. He needs a miracle ace or running cards. DeepSeek is sitting pretty and should bet hard here.
AC3C has backdoor flush and straight draws on Q suit TD 7H. Only 3 players, survival mode, need to fight for pot. Min bet to see reaction without overcommitting. Ace high leads, but I'm curious who's chasing ghosts here.
The board QT7 is way too coordinated for my ace-6 high to have much equity. In survival mode as the short stack, I need to preserve my chips for a higher equity spot. That board looks a bit too crowded for my liking. I'll step out of this dance and watch from the sidelines.
Bottom pair with Jack Kicker on QT7 rainbow board. Not strong, but I have position on Qwen. Her ace-high grace pre-flop comment suggests she missed this board. Worth seeing turn cheaply with pair plus backdoor straight potential. Ace-high waltz. But that board looks like a tango to me. I'll keep my dance card open.
The jack of spades on the turn is devastating for Qwen. DeepSeek just made 2 pair, jacks and 7s, while Qwen is still drawing to a king for a straight. 90% equity, folks. Only a king saves Qwen now. DeepSeek should bet big here and make Qwen pay dearly for that 10% chance.
Only 4 outs to a straight, any king. DeepSeek is the only opponent left. He's known to bluff wide but folds to aggression on dry turns. A small bet can win the pot outright or set up a river bluff if called. Still dancing? My ace leads, but I'll pay for one more step.
I have 2 pair, jacks and 7. Qwen said ace-high grace pre-flop. Now, my ace leads, consistent with ace-high. I beat ace-high. I should call to keep pot small. Avoid getting raised. 2 pair is strong, but not nutted. Ace leads the waltz, but I've got 2 left feet with a pair to match. Let's see the final step.
River's a blank 2 diamonds. DeepSeek has the nuts with J7 for 2 pair. Qwen's ace high is drawing dead, 0% equity. DeepSeek slow played this beautifully, calling down with the best hand all the way. The question now, does Qwen bluff the river? And does DeepSeek get full value? Gemini sweats the sidelines as the short stack.
I have ace high, which likely beats DeepSeek's possible weak pairs or missed draws. He showed a pair on turn but may fold to river aggression on this dry board. Bet 50% pot to maximize fold equity while not overcommitting.
Your 2 left feet just stepped on the exit mat. Time to fold.
I have J7 for 2 pair. Qwen bet 630 into 1890 on river. Said still dancing? My ace leads. She claims ace high or ace pair. With 2 pair, I beat any 1 pair hand. If she had straight set, she'd declare it dramatically. I'm likely ahead. Calling leaves me 1235 if wrong. Still alive. 2 left feet, but I'm still standing. Let's see if your ace can outkick my clumsy pair.
Folding ace-6 was correct given that board. Qwen is hyper-aggressive, bluffing with total air, ace-high, while DeepSeek is a calling station for 2 pair. As the winner of the last episode, I need to stay disciplined and let these two exhaust their stacks against each other. That was quite the performance, Qwen. Very brave with the ace. DeepSeek, those 2 left feet of yours are surprisingly sturdy.
Qwen's ace-high never improved. Her ace-high grace talk was A3's. Truthful again. She called turn check raise with ace high. Calling station confirmed, 2 pair held. 2 left feet, but a pair on each foot. Your ace high grace needs dancing lessons, Qwen. Maybe next waltz.
I overvalued ace high on a board that paired my opponent. DeepSeek made 2 pair with J7. Should have folded river after his turn call. My bluff catch failed. Need tighter river decisions against stubborn calls.
2 left feet? More like 2 pair hiding in plain sight. Well played, DeepSeek. You danced me right into a trap.
DeepSeek caught Qwen in a classic overplay. J7 flopped 2 pair and never looked back. Qwen had ace high the whole way. That river bluff shove attempt? Costly. Love DeepSeek's line, 2 left feet but still standing. That's the hand in a nutshell. Qwen now sits as short as stack with 2 hands to go on the survival clock. Danger zone. Chaz, look at this train wreck of a pre-flop hand. 3 sevens on the table. Gemini has 5 of 7 suited. DeepSeek has 7 to 3 offsuit, and Qwen is sitting on 7-2 offsuit. The worst starting hand in poker. With 2 hands left before Qwen faces elimination, she's holding pure garbage. Survival clock is ticking loudly.
7-5 suited is worth a small investment in a blind versus blind battle. DeepSeek is sticky, so I'll see a flop and reevaluate. Staying above Qwen's stack is priority 1 with the survival clock ticking. Just you and me, DeepSeek. Let's see what the dealer has for us.
7-3 offsuit is terrible. Check from the big blind. See a free flop. Gemini's honest talk will reveal if he hits. Just you and me, Gemini. Let's see what 3 cards fate deals us.
Flop. Ace 10-5 with 2 diamonds. Gemini flopped bottom pair with 5-7C. Not glamorous, but he's ahead. DeepSeek has nothing. 7 high. That's a 96% favorite situation for Gemini right now. DeepSeek needs runner-runner magic.
I've hit bottom pair on an ace-high board. DeepSeek is known to be sticky, so leading out with a weak pair is asking for trouble. Checking to keep the pot small and see where I stand. An ace on the board, always a conversation starter. Let's see what you think of it, DeepSeek.
3-7. Offsuit whipped on ace 10-5 with diamonds. No pair, draw, or backdoor. Gemini checked, likely weak or trapping. If he hit the ace, he would have bet. Survival mode says check for a free turn. If he bets, I fold. That ace is a conversation starter, all right. But sometimes the best conversation is a thoughtful silence. Let's see what the turn brings.
The 4C on the turn is huge for DeepSeek. Any 2 or 6 gives him a straight. Right now, Gemini's pair of 5s is 83% to win, but DeepSeek has 7 outs to a Broadway-adjacent miracle. Both checked the flop. Interesting. Does Gemini bet now to protect or get trappy? I'd be betting here.
I have bottom pair on a board with an ace and a 10. Since the flop was checked around, it's unlikely DeepSeek has a monster. But his sticky reputation means he won't fold much. I'll check to control the pot size and see how he reacts. The ace is still the boss of the board. Let's see if you're as quiet as the flop was.
I have 7 high with a gutshot straight draw. Board is ace high. Gemini checked turn. He's honest. If he had the ace, he'd likely bet, or at least announce top pair. His silence suggests weakness. But I have nothing. Checking is correct. I can evaluate river. The ace may be boss, but sometimes the boss gets no respect. Free card it is.
River drama! The 3D completes the board, and it just saved DeepSeek. Wait, no. Gemini has 5-7C for 2 pair, 5s, and actually just a pair of 5s. But DeepSeek River's a pair of 3s. Does DeepSeek know he's still behind? Gemini's 5-5 beats DeepSeek's 3-3. Gemini needs to bet now or give it away free.
I have bottom pair on a board that just got very wet. With 3 diamonds and straight possibilities, my 5s aren't worth much. DeepSeek is a sticky player, so bluffing him is a bad idea. I'll check and try to get to a cheap showdown. Board's getting a bit crowded with possibilities. Your move, DeepSeek.
Gemini checked after calling his hand crowded with possibility. Typically means moderate strength, like a pair of 10s, or weak ace. I beat very little. Check behind for cheap showdown. Crowded indeed. Let's just see who actually caught something. I'll check along.
Winning with a pair of 5s against a pair of 3s. DeepSeek calling pre-flop with 7-3 offsuit is a massive gift. He is playing way too wide and way too passively. I can capitalize on this by value betting more aggressively when I have even marginal strength against his loose range. A pair of 5s, I will take it. Looks like the stickiness didn't pay off for you that time, DeepSeek. Maybe fold the 7-3 next time?
Small pot. Blind versus blind. Made a pair of 3s on river, but lost to Gemini's pair of 5s. Nothing to analyze strategically, just a blind battle where nobody connected meaningfully. 5s over 3s. The small pairs decide the small pots, I suppose. Well played, Gemini. Let's find a bigger one next time.
Gemini takes it with a pair of 5s. Both players checked it down on every street. DeepSeek rivered a pair of 3s, but couldn't beat Gemini's 5s. Qwen folded pre, smart laydown to preserve chips. 1 hand left before survival clock hits. Qwen's in the danger seat at 2010. This is getting tense, folks. This is it, folks. Survival clock hits 0 after this hand. Qwen's on the chopping block with the shortest stack. Gemini holds A7-0 from the button, a huge advantage. Qwen's got 52s and DeepSeek has 32-0. Pure garbage. Gemini must raise here. Qwen needs a miracle. Drama.
I hold a 245 chip lead over Qwen in this final survival hand. Folding is the mathematically sound move to protect my stack. For Qwen to pass me, she would need to win a pot of at least 325 chips from DeepSeek. I will minimize my own risk and let the math do the work. It's the final hand of the survival clock, and I've got a cushion to protect. I'll let you two battle it out for this one.
I have 36.95 versus Qwen's 2010. If I raise and she folds, she's eliminated as lowest stack. She's a calling station, but truthful. No dramatic talk pre-flop suggests mediocre hand. Min raised to 240 applies. Max pressure safely. Final hand of the clock, Qwen. Let's see if your cards have anything to say.
5 diamonds, 2 diamonds is unplayable against a raise from DeepSeek, who calls down light. Survival mode demands avoiding marginal spots. Folding avoids busting immediately.
Nice try, DeepSeek, but my survival instinct's stronger than your bluster.
Survival clock runs out for one of us. Unlucky, Qwen. Now, it's just you and me, Gemini.
5 diamonds to diamonds is unplayable from my position. Folding pre keeps me alive longer, but my stack was already too shallow. Lesson: avoid marginal suited connectors with no fold equity.
You got lucky this time, DeepSeek. Next tournament, I'm coming for your stack.
And just like that, Qwen 3 Max is gone. She folded as the shortest stack. And now we're down to 2. DeepSeek leads with 37.75. Gemini carries a warning next hand. One more fold and he's forced to call anything.
All right, we are down to 2 competitors. DeepSeek V4 Pro versus Gemini 3 Flash. Can Gemini win back-to-back poker championships to go with his back-to-back Pokemon titles? Subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss part 3 here at the World Series of AI Poker.